Hey guys, Maxim Grunin, landscape painting. Uh, there I am beside my latest picture, and we will see how I put it together from start to finish in a time lapse video, and I will talk about the process and give you some insight. I was born born in Russia in the 70s. I'm in my late 40s. I got some education all the way up to master's level. I live in Canada now, but I also went to art school when I was younger. Started early, around 12, 13, and I never changed careers or anything. I just stopped working at some point once I paid all my debt off. So I'm pretty proud, debt free, painting for fun, living as a free agent. And so I'm set up in a really nice space. I live, travel, live with communities all across Canada, and there's always these really wild, interesting settings to be part of. Like this place is a nature center. It's a museum of old taxidermy. That, oh my God, what a place! And I also have a spot in a workshop, and it's gonna get cold in a few days, so I'm gonna move to another space where there's a wood stove. Um, yeah, I went to school early, and I studied drawing, painting, and sculpture, and every foundation in fine art. And started studying in Russia, where this was taught as a trade skill. And so I've pretty much, my experience throughout life was that talent or like some kind of extra ability is, I have that at the minimum. And well, all I have is a little bit of skills that were taught to me and that I practiced and formed over time. So priming, stretching a canvas, priming it, mixing colors, understanding and knowing how to use chemically all of the different mediums of paint or drawing or all sorts. Like I went and I studied sculpture and printmaking and photography and video or media editing, many things. And none of this is not fun to talk about, I think. Let's see what's happening on the screen. What I'm doing is I'm working from an existing image. I have a sketch. I have an old painting, a painting that I made in the past that I wanted to revisit. And so it is a 4 by 4 feet square, and the canvas is primed. I'm using home builders, like most basic building industrial supplies. There's no real specialty items here. I buy paint that's mistint at a hardware store for priming, or I would get brand new primaries, blue, red, and yellow, and a brand new black and white, so that I can mix all the rest of the colors if I can't find them in the mixed off tints on a sale shelf at a paint department. So I have a pretty good idea what I'm gonna paint here. I have elements. The background is much lighter, and then the areas closer to us are populated by shapes, masses, large areas where I am placing a rough kind of underpainting. I'm using both brushes and palette knives, and I'm building the surface up, and I am working into the wet paint surface so that I can have a dynamic movement within the brush strokes and the shapes on the canvas. I am strategically moving from darker areas towards lighter, more detailed areas. So from large, very general, without any highlights or details, and progressively, little by little, working, layering and adding details and progressively increasing the detail complexity. I'm also going through a process of figuring out how I want this to make this painting. I had a bit of a break between large paintings, and I am kind of warming up, getting myself back into the groove. So I'm setting up masses of dark, the shadows within the areas on my canvas. These are placed in a blocky, general, broad way, silhouetted or really broadly applied dark and color information within the paint. I went with browns and purple grays for the shadow areas within the first masses or blocks I put in. Then I added some blue, some orange, and now I'm getting into setting up elements and that will little by little turn into what they are. These will turn into individual trees and clusters of leaves, while right now they're getting blocked in with, I think, with black, and just drawn in to see how they're gonna look so that I can design, create, mix and match nice shapes for tree trunks and clusters of leaves. To me, in my experience, painting is adding paint onto the canvas and then adding some more over top. So it's kind of layering and kind of correcting. You would see that there will be what I call mistakes or areas that I'm not liking. So they will get repainted, tweaked, further edited. And so I'm painting by adding some paint, mixing it, I'm adding it, and then I'm also taking it away by cutting back with background space or cutting into the background space with the foreground elements. Little by little, I am mixing more colors. There's green, orange, blue, different versions of purple, like a blue or purple, a red or purple. And they're all coming in little by little into the surface. And there is a method, probably more than one methodologies. In a method that I was taught in, or that I'm comfortable in working, or that I'm used to working, I would work a little bit on one area of the picture, but not to finish it, and then do a little bit more work on other areas of the picture, as if to have a bit of a balance. Like if I keep going on this side, it'll get ahead of the underdeveloped areas, and it might throw me off visually. It'll be too done beside areas that are less done. They don't look as done. So I really kind of stop myself. Hey, Maxim, stop here and put a little bit of effort, spend some energy on here, on there, on here, so that the entire square, the entire canvas can progress simultaneously all at once. Uh, I'm experimenting with the shapes of the brush strokes, the kind of marks I'm making, and it's a mark making, brush stroke creating, mark making action. The marks, the brush strokes, in my mind, they need to be expressive, descriptive, lively. So I am kind of asking myself to experiment more and to invent varieties of marks, and to see which, if I can find a little bit of a different new style voice. Oh, the dog has started barking and being vocal, because the fam probably just left. That's okay. um and the building up a process of this, it kind of leads me to, now that I have a base of darks, now I'm placing lighter midtones or lighter colors over top of the darks, in an attempt to have a three-dimensional feel, three-dimensional look to the painting. I am also wanting to have more lively, more active, expressive look to the surface. So I am using a palette knife to set it up, and kind of the strokes and the marks of the paint, and they communicate movement of the tools used to paint, and the energy, the movement, and the visual quality of that movement is seen in that paint, in those marks. Hmm. Um, I have a computer, a laptop, close by, so that I can refer to my previous painting. There it is on the screen. Um, it's helpful from time to time, even though I know that this whole piece is designed by me. I kind of know it by heart, or I can come up with whatever I want there. It's all up to me. It's kind of good to go back to the reference to the picture of painting that I made that looks kind of like that, and to see if I had some successful bits and pieces there, and learn from that, and hopefully transfer some of that good stuff into the new piece. Even though this is a time lapse, a painting is a timely, slow process. I don't know, 20, 30, 40, easily 40 hours. Maybe I'm slow.